I'm addressing you from Kolkata. I am a teacher of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And the Yoga Sutras is essentially a highly codified structure of yogic learnings by which one can achieve a life independent of sorrow. Yes, a life in complete happiness can be experienced out of yogic practices. Patanjali has defined it and structured it and called this process of achieving complete happiness as Patanjali Ashtang Yoga. Ashtang Yoga essentially comprises of 8 angas. And the first limb of this 8-limb practice of yoga is Yama. Yama means the social discipline, the moral discipline, which a sadhaka, a yogi who is on the path of achieving complete purity of mind, complete freedom from sorrow, complete liberation and merging into Kevalya, into moksha, has to start with. So there are essentially 5 kinds of yamas. The first yama is non-violence or ahimsa. Ahimsa also means non-injury. Here one is not supposed to injure anyone by any thought, word or deed. And non-injury or ahimsa is one of the first essential principles which a yogi has to start practicing. Without ahimsa, there can be no yoga. So ahimsa is the major aspect of yoga. The second yama, which one can talk about, is satya. Satya means to speak truth, truth at all times. Now, the truth which one speaks should be such that it does not cause any sort of harm or injury to any person. That means the first priority when you speak the truth, when you speak satya, should be it should not cause any hinsa, any violence in any way to any person. So that is the second yama. The third yama, which has been prescribed by Patanjali, is asteya. Asteya means to practice non-stealing. Non-stealing means not to steal anything of anybody under any circumstances. It may be something physical, it may be something non-physical, something in the form of a copyright, an intellectual property right, a thought which you have heard in some place. Nothing at all must be stolen at any cost. The fourth yama is Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means that energy has to be conserved at all levels of one's existence, be it physical, be it intellectual, be it mental, be it sexual. Under no circumstance, no condition should a person waste his energy. And the fifth and the last yama is all about living in frugality, living in non-possession. So this is called Aparigraha. A yogi who is an Aparigraha lives virtually with the bare minimum of possessions. Now with these 5 yamas, Patanjali says they are to be considered like vows. One has to take a kind of a pratigya on these five, that a yogi will always follow them. He is not exempted by being a king to not practice the yamas. He may be a king or he may be a pauper, but the yamas have to be practiced by him. He may be at any place, irrespective of place, the yamas have to be practiced. He may be in any time, even then the yamas have to be practiced. He may be under any circumstance, any condition, but the yamas have to be practiced. They are universal. They apply to all those who are on the path of yoga. So what it means is, I may be a billionaire or I may be an ordinary employee in a restaurant, but I have to follow the yamas. I may be in New York or I might be in Dharavi, a slum in Mumbai, but I have to follow the yamas. I might be in any time. It might be 4 o'clock in the morning or it might be 9 p.m. at night. The time does not make a difference. These five social disciplines, these five moral disciplines have to be followed. And whatever be the circumstance, whatever be the condition, whatever be the situation, they have to be followed. There is no leniency on them. So these are universal vows. These yamas are universal in nature and they have to be followed at every time. So what it essentially means is a person who is on the path of yoga, the very first thing which he has to follow are these five yamas. The first one is he has to be non-violent at all conditions. Whatever be the situation, he has to practice non-violence. Second, as we saw, is he has to speak the truth. And under all circumstances, all conditions, wherever he is, whatever be the situation, he has to speak the truth. But the truth should be such that it must not cause harm to anybody. And if there is a chance of somebody suffering because of the truth, then it is advisable that that truth better not be spoken. So that is the way the truth has been qualified. The third is astheya. Astheya is non-stealing. We have no right to steal from anybody at any point of time. We have to ensure that others' property rights are always respected. We have to ensure that if I have been to South Africa and I hear a speech there and somebody spoke a particular idea and I like that idea and I come back to India and in Kolkata I'm addressing an elite gathering, I cannot present that idea there. I cannot present that idea as mine. I have to give credit to the person from whom that idea I have received. It also means that I must not watch pirated movies, pirated content. I must not buy pirated books. I must buy the original books, ensuring that the publisher, the author, has got his proper financial payments for it. So that is non-stealing. The fourth is Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means following celibacy as far as possible. Brahmacharya means conserving one's physical, mental, emotional, and sexual energy as far as possible, so that this energy should not go waste. This energy must be used in the application of helping one's own growth, one's own spiritual growth, one's own body health, one's own mental health. That is the purpose of Brahmacharya. The fifth one is Aparigraha. Aparigraha means non-possession. That means if I can lead my life with 2 shirts and 2 pants, then I must live accordingly with 2 shirts and 2 pants. It also means that I need not buy fancy products, buy luxurious products, live in a luxury house, spend luxuriously on my living. No, the life must be lived in all its simplicity. Life must be lived in with the bare minimum of essentials, then that is called Aparigraha. Now, dear friends, are these simple to follow? No, they are not simple to follow. Are they essential on the path of yoga? Yes, these five are essential on the path of yoga. If one is looking to sit for the seat of meditation, dhyana, if one is planning to reach the higher states of samadhi, if one is looking for achieving higher siddhis, then it is critical, it is crucial that one begins with these yamas, and these all yamas are followed to the T. They are followed under all circumstances, at all times, at all places, irrespective of who I am in terms of my earning. They have to be followed, whether I am an American or I am an Indian. They have to be followed, whether I am a trillionaire or I am just a guy living on the street. Under all conditions, these yamas have to be followed. Yoga is a path where one has to put the mind and body under pressure, the mind and body under tapasya, the mind and body under a kind of a stress. Only then can the senses and the mind be controlled. And it is very important that the mind and senses be controlled. Why? Because the purpose of yoga is to remove all the impurities in the mind, all the weaknesses of the mind, and they can only be removed through discipline. So this particular discipline of the yamas has got to do a lot with the way a yogi is interacting with his world outside, with the people outside. So he has to ensure he is not harming others outside. He has to ensure he is not lying to other people outside. He also has to ensure that he is not stealing from others for his personal gain. He has to ensure that his energies are being put in the right place, in the right direction for his self-improvement. And he has to ensure that he is not stressing the society by engaging in pleasures for his sense organs, for his mind. So he has to live with the minimum of possession. Now, just because he is going through this kind of a rigorous regimen, a rigorous self-discipline, a rigorous time with his mind and body, then what happens? The very first thing happens that a yogi starts acquiring siddhis, starts acquiring powers which normal people do not have. What are the powers which are acquired here? Let's look at them. So once when you practice ahimsa, once when you are non-violent, you are not injuring others around you, then you are surrounded by an environment where automatically there is non-violence present in the air. Why does this happen? Once when I am not actually violent in nature, that means I am sattvic in nature. When I am sattvic in nature and sattva has reached such a limit that under no condition, no circumstance, no time, no place am I showing any sort of violence, then that sattvic guna, that sattvic quality permeates out of me. It goes into my immediate environment, and that environment becomes sattvic. Now, if say any animal who is prone to violence, say a lion, enters that physical space, so the lion will forget his habitual behavior of violence and become non-violent. That non-violence would mean that the lion would come close to that person, close to me, say if I am the person who has been practicing non-violence as a yama. But he will not eat me, he will not hurt me, he will not injure me. So that is the one siddhi which happens. The second siddhi, the second power which comes when you practice satya, when you speak the truth under all circumstances without harming or injuring anybody, then such a person acquires a quality which is called Vak Siddhi. Vak Siddhi means the power of speaking. So whatever such a person speaks, that turns out to be the truth. That turns into a manifestation. It starts taking shape. Those words become real. So once when you are in the habit of speaking the truth, you will acquire a power of whatever you say will become the truth, will start manifesting as reality around you. The third yama which we saw is non-stealing, which is asteya. When one practices asteya as a yama, as a vow, as a pratigya under all circumstances, all time, all situations, at all places, then what does one find? One finds that people believe you immensely now. They come and they are willing to leave their costly possessions, their costly jewels, their valuables with you in your safe custody because they can depend on you. They know that it is safe with you. Similarly, Prakriti, nature, it opens up its innermost secrets, its jewels for such a person. You get to know where the treasures are, and then those treasures even may come to you because of circumstances which get created. So that is the siddhi which a person who is practicing asteya, non-stealing, the richness, the jewels, the valuables of Prakriti, the secrets of Prakriti get opened up for such a person, and other people keep their valuables and costly possessions with such people as they are trustworthy. They can believe in them, that their possessions will be safe with them. The fourth is Brahmacharya. Once when you practice Brahmacharya, then an interesting power accrues. Such a person becomes a storehouse of energy. Such a person, if he is a guru, if he is a teacher, then whatever he is teaching reaches out to the student's heart, and it goes deep into their heart, and they are able to properly comprehend and understand whatever is being said, whatever is being taught by that teacher, by that guru. Another surprising thing, power which happens is, such a person, because he has been able to keep this energy well with him, then this energy opens up inside him, a form of divine energy, Ishwar's energy opens up in him, and it starts flowing out from him to the world outside. This fountain of divine energy with infinite supply now is able to come out of such a person, and it goes out and does provide benefit to everybody out there. It provides valuable social service to people of the world now. So this is what happens when you practice Brahmacharya. And once when you are practicing Aparigraha, once when you are practicing non-possession, then such a person is able to see through his sanskaras, he is able to see through to his karmas, and he understands the law of cause and effect now. The causation theory is now clear to him. So there he is able to come back in time from his present karmas, present sanskaras, and go back in time and look at his previous births. So this going back in time because of cause and effect is what gives him the power to go back many lifetimes. Starting from the present sanskara, starting from the present moment, a yogi is able to go back in time and see his previous births. He is also able to look at his karma, and based on his karma, and again the theory of cause and effect, he is able to go into the future. He is able to see his coming births. He is able to see 5 births, 10 births, 15 births, 20 births into the future. So this, this ability to see in the past and see in the future arises out of Aparigraha. But again, there is another beautiful way of looking at it. Such a person, because he is able to see ahead in time and behind in time, he also acquires a unique ability of looking at his life purpose. He is able to find what is the purpose of his life. And once when he finds out what is the purpose of his life, then since he has the energy, the divine energy is flowing into him, since he has conserved his own energy and he's applying it in the right direction towards his own self-improvement, he is able to now apply that energy, both his inner energy and the divine energy which is flowing out from him like a fountain of infinite supply into the world. He takes that energy and moves out. There he finds that Prakriti, nature, has gifted him all the means, all the tools which are required by him to fulfill his life purpose. They are all waiting for him outside his door. And taking those valuables, taking those possessions, taking those powers which nature has bestowed upon him so that he can fulfill his life purpose, he comes further out. And now with his power of speech, with his Vak Siddhi, Vak Shakti, whatever he speaks turns out to be true, starts manifesting, becomes real, becomes physical, takes shape in the world outside. So this power is now further used by him because he has been practicing non-violence, the principle of ahimsa. So wherever he's been doing his work, in whatever physical space he has been doing his work, he has been converting his words into reality. People or circumstances in that area do not oppose his work, they welcome his work. Because he has been non-violent, people give up their non-violence in front of him. So such a person, because he has been able to understand his life purpose, because divine energy is flowing out from him, and because he has got all those valuables, all those possessions, all those jewels from Prakriti now, which provide him the resources to achieve his life purpose. And now with his power of speech, with his power of words, with his Vak Siddhi, he is able to convert all his thoughts, all his words into action, into a physical reality, into a manifestation. And this manifestation which he is doing is unopposed by the people outside because of his Yama of ahimsa. So such a person achieves his life purpose. He fulfills his life dream. And now that his life purpose has been achieved, he has been able to fulfill his life dream, he is free. Those divine powers now come to him and take him back. They take him to the heavens now. They take him to the higher worlds now. They take him to the higher conscious realms now. Why do they take him? For the simple reason that such a person is in a state of non-possession. He is experiencing a kind of renunciation of the world. He is into Vairagya. So now that he's into Vairagya and his life purpose has been done, he has served society, he is completely contented, completely full of happiness. So now he reaches a state of a kind of Dharma Megh Samadhi. This Samadhi is the highest possible Samadhi. And he is blessed with lot of virtues. And these virtues now are like a cloud around him. And he moves further. He is completely detached. He reaches a high state of sattva, high state of purity, such a high state of sattva and such a high state of purity that his viveka, his power of discrimination rises to a phenomenal level. Now he is able to receive wisdom and knowledge from the universe. This wisdom and knowledge from the universe gives him unlimited power. So, with unlimited knowledge and unlimited power, if such a person would like to serve the whole society now at a global scale, he is capable of doing that because of his omniscience and omnipotence which he has acquired now. But if he wants to achieve Kevalya, liberation from all sorrow, from all pain, from all suffering, then he can clean up his mind further, purify his mind further. And when he cleans up his mind further, purifies his mind further, moves ahead and leaves behind omnipotence and omniscience, all the powers, all the siddhis which he has acquired, then he finds he enters the ultimate state of liberation, the ultimate state of Kevalya, the ultimate state of moksha. And this ultimate state of Kevalya, this ultimate state of moksha, this ultimate state of liberation is the ultimate goal of a yogi. And once when a yogi reaches here, he finds that his mind has started dissolving. And once when the mind starts dissolving, because now the purpose of the mind has been served, once when the mind starts dissolving, the whole universe starts dissolving, because as the mind is dissolving, and mind is the tool of perception, it is through the mind that this universe is being observed. So now the universe is no longer observable by the soul, by the Purusha, by the Atma, because the mind itself is dissolved. So as the mind dissolves, the universe dissolves, what was being seen dissolves, and all that is left now is the simple, pure Mool Prakriti. Mool Prakriti is that state of Prakriti which is in a very infinitesimally small form. It cannot be seen. It cannot be comprehended under any cost. Only certain yogis with their high power of intuition, high power of pragya, high power of discrimination are able to see it. So dear friends, that is the beauty of the whole thing. That as you start working on the yamas, as you start considering them as vows, as you start cleaning up the mind of all that is rajasic and tamasic, all the impurities which the mind has, then a stage is reached where the mind is 100% sattvic, where the mind is 100% pure. And now since the mind is 100% pure, it starts resembling like the soul, like the Atma. And this is the time when the purity, purity of the buddhi, the purity of the mind is so high that the mind has dissolved, the three gunas of Prakriti have dissolved, all of them have gone back into the Mool Prakriti, and the Mool Prakriti is in its original primordial state. There is no movement, there is only equilibrium, and it is unseen. All that is left now is the Atma, is the Purusha, is the soul, and shining in all its radiance, and both the mind and the world have disappeared because now they have no role to play. As we had seen earlier, Prakriti is here to give different kinds of experiences to the Purusha, experiences to the Atma. And once all those experiences have been given, then the Purusha has no role to perform. Then the Purusha quietly dissolves. Then the Prakriti quietly dissolves, and it is only the Purusha in a liberated form, in a Kevalya state, in absolute independence which is present. and now the creation does not happen ever again. The creation happened once when the Purusha and the Prakriti came together. Now, when the mind has dissolved, the creation has dissolved, the Purusha and Prakriti have separated out, but they never come back again, so the creation does not happen again. But this creation, which has got dissolved for this particular Purusha. This same creation is, however, existing for other souls, for other Purushas who are still in this world and who are still experiencing the world. So, dear friends, today what you saw were the 5 yamas, the 5 essential observances which have to be done under all circumstances by a yogi. What you saw was non-violence, uh, speaking the truth, non-stealing, Brahmacharya, which is celibacy, and the last was non-possession, which is Aparigraha. So by these 5 yamas, considering them as vows, it is possible to purify the human mind, the human system to the ultimate level, and one can reach the highest of the highest state possible as a human being. So, friends, with that, we come to the end of today's talk. The series of talks which we are conducting are purely for uh, helping people achieve a permanent state of happiness. Once when you achieve a permanent state of happiness, and your family members are also able to achieve the permanent state of happiness, then this you can teach to other members of our society, other members of our country, and other people of this world at large. And that is the way we will be able to transform this whole society. We have taken a target of reaching out to 200 crore families in 15 years of time, so that each family has at least one member who knows what is this yogic healing and how can suffering be permanently removed from a human being, and then he can train the same to his family members and other members of society and his country. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow, same time, with another topic from Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Thank you so much. God bless each one of you. Let us together heal the world. Let us gift a beautiful, happy planet to our children, to our coming generations. Thank you, thank you, thank you.